Hi and welcome back to It's a Miracle Beauty. If you've saw my previous eyeshadow review for the Bite Size Elf review, you may recognize this look. However, I was filming both these videos at the same time. Today I am reviewing the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup. It has an SPF of 40. It has an SPF of 45, so I am doing a wear test and everything else, so I am going to give you a video of me putting it on and showing the application. This is the finished look after I just finished adding the rest of my makeup. I will be giving check-ins and a closing, final thought video, but this is a first impression. It is not a I wear this and know it's good. It is just a wear test. So if you like foundation reviews, I hope that you'll click like. I hope that you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. And if you want to see how this performs on my almost 42-year-old very dry skin, I hope you keep watching. So I did just finish my eyes. I'm going to clean up under my eye and around my eyes. And this is a look that should be live on my channel before this video. It is the e.l.f. Bite Size. This is the cotton candy one. It is a collab with Nona from My So-Called Life 1977. And I would check out both of them. We are reviewing all of the 8 palettes, one per week for the next 4 weeks, and talking about a really important awareness of invisible illness. So I hope you'll check that out. So I did just clean up under my eye. I am going to go ahead and prime. I did use my Smashbox priming oil this morning, but I am going to use the Becca. This is the Backlight priming filter. This one I find makes a really glowy, just pretty look. So I am taking just a little bit of that into my hand, and I'm going to put it all over my face. I typically put it where I want it and then smooth it in. That way I'm not rubbing everywhere the whole time. This one is very moisturizing, but it does tend to sink in fast, and that's one of the things I love and hate about it. I don't like to use too much primer, and this one, it's hard to tell where it sinks in at if you don't want to overdo it. So scrubbing just a touch more. I'm going to put in a couple key spots. I know I get dry. And this is a very luminous primer, but it's also very moisturizing, and it doesn't sit on top of the skin, which is amazing. And then I am going to use just a touch of the Farsali Skin Tune. I just like this in certain areas. So I actually put it on the back of my hand and then put it only where I need it. That way I'm not just smearing it everywhere. I don't put a ton on my nose. I just take literally what's left over on my hand, because I tend to have slippage for foundation on my nose first before anything else. I don't like to overdo any primer on it. Okay, you do need to just let that sit for a minute. The Skin Tune Blur, it doesn't work instantaneously. You do have to let it set. So I'm going to let it set for a minute, and then I will come back to do the foundation. While that sets, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the under eye color corrector. It does look like this. This one is very like pink toned. It's not as peachy toned as some. I said that backwards. It's peachy toned, not pink toned, sorry. I'm sure the other shades aren't the same exact coloring, because obviously the color wheel you correct differently for it. This is one I can actually kind of create an eye socket here with it, or an eye area, because it's not very heavy. Some of the other ones I can only use where my dark circles are, otherwise it creates an issue. But this one's very light. Typically blends in really well as well. Just checking my mirror. There we go. Okay, as you saw from the intro, we are reviewing the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup broad screen. Can't even talk. As you saw from the intro, we are reviewing the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup Broad Spectrum 45, and this is a first impression and wear test. I'm going to see how long I can wear this. If it's able to wear all day, I'll wear it all day. If not, then I will let you know. So to get started, I am going to take just a couple pumps. It is a runnier foundation, and this sponge in particular soaks up a ton of foundation. It's the e.l.f. Newer e.l.f. one. I don't think it's the one they've had for a while, but it does soak up a lot in my experience. This drier a little bit. So between the runny foundation and the sponge, I'm not sure how much I will need to use. And again, that wouldn't be the fault of the foundation, because the sponge is soaking up a lot. I used it with the NARS Long Radiant yesterday, and it was, this has a really strong perfume scent. want to see. Yeah, it has a perfumey scent. It's interesting. I don't smell it once it's on my skin, but like when it's by my nose, I can really smell it. Seems to go on really easy. This definitely isn't a perfect match for my spring coloring, but I think it would work really good in summer, which was kind of the idea because this is a light foundation. I was hoping that I could use it all summer, and as it has sunscreen in it and it seemed to be a really light formula, almost serum-y, I was hoping that it would be a great summer foundation. I actually think this pumps, because it's so runny, it pumps out smaller doses at a time. I think it might even be how the pump is set up, because I feel like this few bit I pumped, it was going a really long way despite the sponge soaking up a ton. I think it's medium coverage. I don't think off the bat it is anything more than that. I do think I'm not going to build it this time because I am just sitting in the house, so there's no reason. So for concealer, I'm going to use the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue. This is in shade 4. And this is one that is full coverage. However, if you use less, it's not as much. So I actually wipe off the entire doe foot and then I use what's left over. And I let it sit just for a second to kind of harden up almost, or dry up a little bit, because the sponge does soak up so much. I like to actually let it dry a little bit. So I just want to let that dry. The crazy hair today. And I am trying to go right up into the crevice of my eye, so it gets touches but doesn't wipe the blue. I've done that before, where you get too close and then you have blue across your whole face. So when I set my under eye, I don't actually worry about creasing, only because I do have naturally really creasy eyes. So for me, it's just a longevity of the makeup. It's not about preventing creasing. And then I want to smooth the edges of that. This one matches really well with this foundation. It brightens, but it's not like a huge distinct difference you can see. Not bad so far. So I actually set with my sponge. I actually dip it just lightly in the powder, and then I press it into the face versus spraying it ever. I don't like to move my foundation. So I actually do it this way, and ever since I started doing this, I find my makeup lasts longer and I deal with a lot less slippage. So it is something that I find works for me. And all I'm interested in doing here is helping with the longevity and the blending of the powder products. So it's not about really being a powdery face or finish. I just want it to set the foundation. I do see just a touch. It looks like the sponge was pulling up a little bit through here. I am going to just put a little bit to bake right there. I find that if I have foundation pull up a little bit and you're using a good powder, you can actually put a little bit more to bake in that area, but you don't bake a long time. If you're my age, you just do it just enough to help correct that issue. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to contour. I'm not going to show every step of everything when I do my makeup. I will come back and show you the finished look, and then we can talk about what I think initially before the day even gets going, and then we can talk about it more as I do my check-ins. So I'm 3 hours in for my foundation review, and it is looking horrid. Like, I have lines I didn't even know I have through here. I have lines through here already. I mean, it's already settling into every line that I have. I'm actually going to zoom you in so you can see it. I do have the lights turned down slightly. It's not enough light out here to turn them down all the way, but I'm actually going to do one more day on this challenge because I just want to see if it's the primer, because this foundation is very highly rated and most people, especially with dry skin, actually fell in love with it. So I'm just wondering if my primer is actually the issue. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can take a look, and then I will actually film in this video. Next time you see me will be the next day. Let me zoom you in. Okay, so look through here. I have wrinkles I didn't even know I have. Hopefully they're picking up. And my smile lines, like they're permanent. So, and that's only 3 hours in. So I'm going to try it again tomorrow. Okay, so this is the end of day 2. This is, I think 6.5 hours in, give or take, maybe 7 actually. I think about it because I finished my makeup 6.5 hours ago, so it was probably half an hour before foundation. I was kind of in no hurry. So as I look at my foundation, I have considerable loss off my nose. This I don't blame on the foundation. I lose on my nose first. Allergies going crazy, and had the best enchiladas in the state of Michigan, and they made me sneeze for like an hour. So I don't blame this on it. However, my smile lines aren't as deep as they were yesterday, but they are pretty deep. So I definitely think that there is something to be said about that. My up here, my under eye I don't really worry about. I'm pretty dehydrated right now, so this is gonna probably wrinkle no matter what. But this area definitely looks better today, and my forehead I feel like looks better. So I think overall it was definitely better. I'm gonna keep trying it, and I will post a pinned comment once I have a better opinion about it. I think the biggest thing is that it's thin like a serum foundation, so it just doesn't have enough oomph to hold all the wrinkles in. Even though I don't even have a ton, but the ones that I have, and I don't even have a ton of wrinkles, but this foundation just seems to like bring them out.
This foundation brings them out.
So I theorize that that's what's happening, is it's such a thin formula. It just doesn't have the, you know, it's not able to vavoom the wrinkles like some of the thicker full coverage ones do. So I'm gonna keep trying it. Like, I will post a pinned comment down below to kind of update you on my progress. I mean, like, it's just not looking awesome, and I do need my foundations to last about 8 hours. For me, that's what I need, so I'll keep trying it. So if you like foundation reviews, if you like unboxings, mystery boxes, I hope that you will like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I hope that you and yours are safe out there with everything going on, and I hope you have a fantastic day.